What's up with it? YouTube, this your boy Expat D here. So I wanna weigh in on this Austin Holleman and him, raising money to open up a school because I don't know. I think I have a different take on it, and I'm surprised just how much the story kind of hits home to me. And I'll tell you this. I've actually, I'm not a barber, but I have cut hair in a barber shop here in Kenya. And last summer I came and I had my son, me and him were both kind of training in a barber shop. That's just a skill that I wanted him to take before he went to college. And so, I have a couple of points I wanted to weigh in on. So the first thing I'd like to say is, I'm back in Kenya right now, just for the summer. And one thing that I could say is there's levels to cutting hair. So like right now, I am getting my hair cut here in Kenya by barbers, and I'm currently on my third barber. And so what I'm noticing is that they can generally cut hair pretty well, but can they cut as well as the barbers that I had in Oakland or Miami or some of the other areas in the States? No. They're pretty good, but like I said, there's levels to it. So I'll give you an example. I had my hair cut by a barber here in Kenya, and I mean it was like he kind of cut the haircut that he wanted to cut, and I was like, I went there I just needed a cut. I needed something something kind of nearby the house, and I mean his haircut was cool, but it was kind of like, dude, like you didn't follow any of the instructions that I wanted. And then I came back with my son, right? I wanted him to cut a taper. And this is a haircut I normally, I can cut a taper. I cut my son a taper. And I gave him a picture of the haircut that I cut, the taper. Man, this dude, like he cut it all up here, and he ended up looking like somebody off Street Fighter. You know what I mean? And the thing was, he didn't follow any of the instructions. And then afterwards, he was like taking pictures of the haircut, like he's gonna post on Instagram or something. I was just like, dude, like you didn't follow any of the instructions for the haircut. So, my whole point to that is, yes, there are a lot of barbers, but I do believe that they can cut hair better in the States. I believe that. And if someone wants to come here and like raise the level or maybe show them some different skills as it relates to cutting hair, I think it's a good idea. Like for example, like everybody can cut a fade here. I notice when it comes to like tapers or maybe designs or even like beards, it really varies. So that there's some areas of improvement. Okay, so that's one of my points. Number two, and I'm trying to get an understanding of, so if you have a skill that you're bringing from the States, what's wrong with bringing it to another country? And that's really what it's all about. When you like, for example, when people come from different countries, they may bring, let's say, a restaurant. They're bringing like their food style to a new country. So if that's his background of cutting hair, I think that's a good choice. Kind of bringing something that you developed in the States and brought it abroad. I mean, that's how I live abroad. I'm using, my degree and my skill set, and I use that internationally. So I'm not quite seeing the problem with that. It's really, what I'm saying is really giving hater vibes. And that's really why I'm kind of jumping on here, because I'm like, I don't know, some of the stuff I'm seeing is kind of like this Black Karen vibes. And it's like, man, it's a level of what I'm seeing, the level of hate that I see going on. I'm like, this is kind of entering in another category. You know, and here's the thing. The energy that I'm seeing people react towards this, or at least a subset of people, they're acting like he's coming here or coming to Kenya, like he's trying to open up a brothel or like a weed dispensary or something. I'm like, dude, it's hair cutting. Like, what? I'm not really seeing the connection on what makes that a bad business idea. You know, and another point I'd like to bring up is they're talking about, oh, you know, he's trying to operate a business without like the proper license. I'm like, do y'all really want to go there? Do you really want to go there? I mean, I don't know how many, like when I was living in the States, how many foreign people that I saw on student visas that were working under the table. Okay, and then you also have different people that have foreign people that have moved to the States, and they're like working under the table, getting government assistance. And how many people that you see that have businesses that are finding loopholes. Like when I was in the States years back, we used to have kind of like a little takeout restaurant thing that like in a farmer's market, right? And I noticed a lot of the people there, in order to run that business, you have to have a commercial kitchen. And I mean, they technically had one at the farmer's market, but most people just prepared their food at home and took it to the farmer's market. You know, legally you had to have a commercial kitchen, and there was one on the premises, but nobody was cooking the food there. So it's normal for people in business to maybe like find loopholes and stuff here and there. That's kind of a part of business. And you got people that lie on their taxes, foreign people do that as well. So it's kind of like, man, do y'all really want it? Like, people are opening up a can of worms to where if you want people to really single out doing everything by the letter of the law, that's some energy that, if we really want to go there, there'd be a lot of people, man, these people that try to get on the internet and just basically hate on other people trying to do something. If y'all want to have that same energy, a lot of people be getting shut down. That's just the way it is. And because it really annoys me to see like basically people dedicate channels just to do reaction videos and hate, especially when they do it to other black people. Because their lives are not interesting as it is, so they have to sit here and just sit back and hate on other people and act like they're doing the world a favor. It's like, dude, man, get a more interesting life, so you can make your own damn content, and don't make your content just about following other people and just trying to hate on their journey like you're helping people. You're really not. You know what I mean? And another thing I like to say is, why are they only going after black people? I don't see that same energy with people of other races. And I mean, you could just imagine how much that they are going even like to Africa, and they're just exploiting the people. And they're coming out with like these, you could have that same energy towards people that come here with these NGOs, and see how many corners they cut, or all these funds that they're getting, or is it really going towards what they say? And that's been going on for so long, but it seems like the moment you see a black person doing it, or not necessarily, like, I'm not saying what he's trying to do is fraudulent, but the moment it's like someone is trying to start something, it's just a level of hate. It's ridiculous, and I don't really see it when it comes to people of other races. So, I mean, that's my take. I'm someone that, just to summarize it, I've been living abroad. First time I went out of the country was like 2005, and I've lived, years ago I've lived in Syria, and what motivated me just to learn how to like cut my own hair is, man, back then, man, I go to a barbershop, the guy can't speak English, and I'm just like, dude, just do your best. You know what I mean? I take what I can get, because I really couldn't communicate. And, the dude was Syrian trying to cut my hair. And, I was looking like, some of them like old school Jim Carrey movies and stuff, man, right? A little buzz cut, fade type thing. I had to take what I get. And I finally said, man, forget it, man. I'm going to learn how to cut my own hair, and luckily, just over the years, I've lived in different countries where they cut hair better. It's still not on the level of the States, but it's something that I'm like, okay, I'm cool. I'm cool with this particular haircut. And, I'm saying here in Kenya, there are a lot of barbershops, and there's some pretty good barbers, but are they top of the top? Are there some things that they could benefit from really good barbers in the States? Yeah. So I don't really see, what the hoopla is, but I don't know, man. I don't really like the energy I'm seeing as it relates to what he's trying to do. So that's just my take. Someone that lives abroad, someone that has trained in barbershops here in Kenya, and someone with just firsthand experience. That's just my take. Anyway, this is your boy Expat D. Like, share, subscribe, man. I got a lot of different content on just living abroad, doing this sustainably, and I'm going to end it here, and peace. I'm out.